Hey everyone, it's Miji.
And Jack. And
And
we're
we're
back.
back. Welcome back to another Q&A Thursday with us. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. We're kind of switching things up a little bit, as you may have seen in the Facebook event. We're going to talk about some of the reasons for those of you who are considering signing up for 17 Hats, why you should do so, and why our system would be a good fit for your business. So you may be someone who's coming over from pen and paper, or maybe you've been managing your business for a year or two. You're well on your way to success, and or maybe you're using a different system and you're just curious about what we do. We're here to answer those questions for you guys. And as always, if you have any comments or questions, just leave them down below. We'd love to hear from you guys. Always let us know where you're tuning in from, what industry you're in, or just drop in and say hello. And give us a thumbs up or a heart if you like what you're hearing. And for those of you who are brand new and you want to sign up for 17 Hats, we do have a special offer for you guys, which we'll share very shortly and throughout the broadcast. And you can get 15% off our most popular plan, the Unlimited Annual. So do stay tuned for that. But let's jump right into it, Jack. So for those of you who may not be familiar with us, who are we? What is 17 Hats?
Well, that's a number of questions, and it's so interesting when we see new people come in with a smaller business and we find that they're using like 10 different programs. They're using an email program. They're using an accounting program. They're using everything else. So, basically what we do is really help you simplify your business.
Yeah. Boy, that sounds great. And Jack, I talk to a lot of people every day that are using 5 different apps or sometimes even more to manage their business. And what 17 Hats does is it offers a lot of the tools that you need to run your day-to-day, but it's a system to where everything's under one roof. And not only that, but the tools are talking to one another and they're working together. So really helps streamline all the different things you have to do, from invoicing to contracts, booking, and lead management. We'll talk about all of those different pain points. But again, depending on where you are in your business journey and what issues or challenges you may be facing right now, there's a solution that 17 Hats offers, which is great. And so whether it be, saving more time, getting organized, whatever that headache is, we'll kind of dive into those and how 17 Hats addresses them.
That is so nice. Dawn just joined us, so thank you so much. If you could tell us where you're from, Dawn, we'd appreciate it. And
Hi, Dawn.
If anybody's got any likes or any hearts to press, that would be great too.
Yeah, don't forget to press that button for us.
I know. Okay, so that's pretty good. I think one of the big things about 17 Hats is that we are really dedicated to helping small businesses. We know small businesses, we know how they work, and that's why 17 Hats was originally created. Now, whatever you're doing now, I got to tell you, 17 Hats is better than what you've been doing because so many things are combined in 17 Hats, and it just makes it really easy to do the different functions you've been doing. And then again, what's the alternative? So how expensive is that alternative? How expensive is it for you time-wise to be using multiple different programs to really accomplish the same task? And that's to give excellent service to your customers and sell your product and get your money in fast.
Right. And I think for a lot of the people who are tuning in right now, you are a one-person business. You are the accountant. You're the CEO. You are the receptionist. You're answering phone calls right now. You're doing the booking. You're doing it all. Hence the name 17 Hats. We all wear a lot of hats every single day. Right. And, not every single person necessarily wants to have to hire another person to help them, right? I mean, sometimes I just wish I could clone myself. And if there's a way that for the things that I do over and over again, that I know I repeat on a daily basis, if I could just stop doing that, have some of it be automated for me and have my clients be taken care of and happy, so I can free up more time on my side to focus on the things that I want to focus on, whether that be put more time into my business and work on that marketing campaign that I've been wanting to do and I keep putting it off because I just don't have time, or take a real vacation for once. Some people want to go and write a book. There's other things they want to pursue, but they can't because they're wearing so many different hats.
And they're just keeping it going, right? I mean, they're doing what they can to keep their business going. Tell me, Miji, what is 17 Hats?
Well, it's a business management software. So some of you guys may be familiar with the term CRM, and you may be even using one right now, right? Let's say you're using something that allows you to invoice, or maybe you have an app that helps you manage your leads as they come in. It sends out automated responses. 17 Hats takes all of those different apps that you're probably using or would like to have the functionality for and puts them under one roof for you. So it is a complete system. It deals with all the different pain points that you have in your business, and the features talk to themselves, right? So you're not just having electronic, contracts go out or invoices that are being sent via email. You can build these things into what we call a workflow, for example. Start automating that process. Anything that you have to repeat over and over again can actually be done on your behalf. There are even stories that we've heard from people where once they get set up, they install our lead capture form on their website. Clients start reaching out and entering in their information, and things are happening automatically, and invoices are getting paid immediately without them having to lift a finger. And so that's a great example of the system working.
Yeah. And I think there are a number of things that we can specifically point to that 17 Hats can do. First off, it'll help you get paid faster, something very important to a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's going to make you look more professional because all your correspondence with them and everything is going to have a nice, crisp, professional look, and it's going to look like it's put together. It's not separate pieces from separate software. It's going to help you get more organized.
Love that.
Yep. It's going to provide a better client experience, a more consistent client experience for your customers.
That's very important. I think for a lot of people, beyond saving time and all of that, if their clients are happy, they're going to be happy. And we have people come up to us at trade shows or email us and just say, I use 17 Hats because my customers absolutely love 17 Hats. They think it's easy, professional. And they even ask me, what do I use? So truly, if you want that consistent client experience, if you want to optimize your current client experience, 17 Hats can help you do that.
Yeah, and one of the things, just a short personal story, my wife uses 17 Hats for her business, and she has mentioned on a number of occasions that she's heard back from her customers that they can't believe how fast it is to pay an invoice, they can't believe the correspondence, and it's just it makes your company appear to be a well put together company.
Yes. Yep.
So certain businesses, small businesses and big businesses, have certain pain points.
Yes, they do.
Miji, what do you think 17 Hats can do to help resolve some of those?
Oh, gosh, there's a lot that we can do. So, you mentioned one thing, Jack, which is invoicing, getting paid. It is a pain point for a lot of people because sometimes that involves you sitting down, drafting out an invoice, hitting print, getting dressed, getting in the car, driving over to your clients, and actually collecting that payment in person, or having to create a PDF and email it over to them with that little credit card slip that, I've seen some people use, where the client actually writes in the credit card number and then it gets back to you. And I don't know how long that takes in between, sometimes days. And then you have to input that information. And it's just this long, drawn out process that's inconvenient for you. It's taking up more time on your clients. And you know what? You end up with a piece of paper that you have to file away somewhere. And let's hope you don't lose it, because that's the only copy that you have. And so with 17 Hats, what you can do is actually connect a payment processor like Square, Stripe, PayPal, or Authorize.net. You can create your own professional invoices, save them as a template, with your logo, your payment plan, all of your notes and items and descriptions. It looks really beautiful. You send it off electronically to your clients via email. They get it in an instant. They look at it, and there's a pay button that they can click and type in their credit card if they wanted to immediately.
You know what else is really nice about that is that because it's an electronic copy and they've signed it, they always have access to go take a look at it, as well as you always having access to go back and take a look at what they paid, look at their contracts, look at their questionnaires, all the information they filled out for you. Now, we have one of the newer features in 17 Hats is we have a Documents tab, and basically what you can do is go click on that, and you can take a look and see all of your invoices and see what state they're at, whether they've been paid, whether they're overdue, whether they're not quite ready, they're in draft form, but you haven't set them yet. But you can also go take a look at all contracts and that status, your quotes, your questionnaires, everything in one place. You can go take a look.
Oh, that's lovely, right? So you don't have to manually go through and create an Excel spreadsheet and try to keep track of what's outstanding and what's not. That would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
The system is going to allow you to filter through, and it'll even remind you if you have a past due payment, if you have an outstanding contract, so that you don't have to go through and actually sort that yourself. Now, another thing I love about our invoicing features is, for those of you who take payment plans, we actually have invoice reminders that go out automatically. So if you've ever felt like a bill collector where you've had to call up your client or write, a custom email asking them for payment because they forgot about it, 17 Hats can do that work for you. It's not awkward anymore. It's not another additional to do on your plate. And, especially for anyone who's doing a lot of repeat business where you're sending out recurring invoices, or if you just have a lot of clients to take care of and there's 50% down now, 50% due later, who's going to be able to remember all of that? Not me.
Right. And it's not something you have to do anymore, really. I mean, basically you can go through and do that. It's nice. It is so nice not having that awkward step where you have to contact your client directly and say, hey, what about the money you owe me?
Can you pay me now?
Pay me now, will you? Never a pleasant conversation.
Yeah.
But not something you want to let slip either.
Right. Yeah. So booking. Now that's another thing I want to talk about really quickly is, say someone comes into the funnel and they're ready to go. They're interested in your services. I see a lot of the times people create these big documents, right? They don't have a system. So they are drafting a quote. It's also got the terms and conditions, on the second page, and on the third page, it's asking for the credit card information and also their payment information. Sometimes there's just a few questions that you also want to ask that you didn't gather up front. So there's like a little bit of a survey in there, and it's very complicated. It's a lot, for you to sit down and draft that. And it's a lot for your clients to get on their end and then kind of, filter through, decipher what's what, and make sure they don't forget to sign, make sure they don't forget to read the payment terms and put down their credit card and then answer the questions. I see these documents a lot. So with 17 Hats, what you can do is actually break those pieces into different documents. Again, if you create them as templates, you can use them over and over again. But one of my favorite things is the quote, contract, invoice combo. And Jack, I'm sure you love these too, but tell us a little bit more about how that works, because those three things can actually be sent out in one mailing.
Right. It's very nice. The quote function of 17 Hats allows you to do a number of different things for setting up your quote. So for instance, if you are offering somebody a package and they have to pick one, but only one of 3 packages, we can set that up, allow you to do that. We can put stuff on the quote that they have no choice of. They either have to accept or not accept. And then we have another portion that's very neat. It's kind of like adding a la carte items. And many people have been successful in boosting the prices of the price of the work for a customer, because they add additional things for them. So if you're a wedding photographer, maybe you want to give them the ability to add 10 new mother-in-law photo albums for that wedding. They have the choice and they can just add it right there. So as soon as they decide what they'd like on their quote, what packages, what items they'd like, if they can go through and accept the quote. And the next thing is they're presented with the contract that you've set up ahead of time. They can go through, you can ask information in the contract to gather additional data that you need. They can go through, sign the contract, and then when they sign the contract, you can have it present the invoice. They can go through on the invoice and they can click a button on the top that says pay invoice and get through the whole thing. I think I heard from one of our wedding photographers in the past that it used to take him, like once they got a new customer, it might take him 3 weeks to go through and get all this information. But he was saying the other day that he had gone through and used the quote, contract, invoice package, and he had everything, including his down payment, in under 48 hours.
Wow. What a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for those of you who may just be tuning in right now, we're going over 17 Hats, the system, and what it does for small business owners such as yourself. So if you guys are just coming in right now, let us know if you have any questions, or just say hello and introduce yourself in the comments down below. Give us a heart or a thumbs up if you like what you're hearing.
It'd be great to know where they're calling in from or where they're watching us from and what business they're in too.
Exactly. Yep. Or how many years you've been in your business. We want to get to know you guys. But basically what we're talking through right now is, as you guys know, as business owners, you do what you do because you're passionate about it, right? It's something that you're very interested in. And when you first start, it's fun. And at one point you start getting business and you get bogged down with things like paperwork and getting contracts signed, invoices paid. And now it's more about the administrative side that's kind of taking the fun out of running your own business, right? And we want to give that freedom, time, whatever it is that's important to you back to you. So you're able to focus on what's important to you and what you love, whether that be going out there and running that marketing campaign or finally being able to spend some time with your family. That's what we're here to give you the ability to do.
Yep. So Miji, what do you think? We have a number of things that are going to help people get organized. What are some of those things?
So many things. So one of them is, of course, a to-do list, as we all are familiar with. I used to do it pen and paper. I would write them down, and then I graduated to putting them on my Google Calendar. And let me tell you, my events on my calendar got so long and so unmanageable, and I just couldn't keep track of who it was for, what I was doing. And because 17 Hats is a system, when you create to-dos within your account, you can actually assign them to specific projects, create the due dates, and that allows you to basically stay up to date on everything that you have to do, whether it be make a phone call, show up to that appointment, write a thank you card, a handwritten thank you card, or sometimes it's to mail out a gift basket. We keep all of that in one section for you. And as we all know, to-do lists, don't forget, so you don't have to worry about that at all. And another great thing about 17 Hats is we have projects, right? And everything is organized inside of projects. And it's kind of like a little digitized file folder that holds everything from your email correspondences to your important documents that you're sending, like quotes, contracts, invoices, questionnaires, all of the steps that you got to go through that's in your workflow, even notes, everything. So you're not going to be losing that paper napkin that has that important phone number on it. Right. Or be digging through your email, trying to find that one email from that one client for a particular project. Everything's going to be sorted just the way you need to inside the system so that it doesn't matter if it's 10 years down the road. You can come back and pull it up really easily. I know
it. And, Miji, we just had a couple of people join us. We'd like to shout out to Loki from Sweden. He's a wedding photographer. And also, we would like to welcome Desiree and Lorenzo.
Welcome back, guys.
Yep.
From Sweden. Nice. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wonder what time it is over there for you guys.
Must be.
And we have Ed from Tampa tuning in. Awesome.
And Ed, please stay safe and dry this weekend.
Yeah, we hope you're okay.
Yeah. So a couple of things that we're doing through here, and you take a look now. Projects, you had mentioned that before, and what projects are so nice for, the whole idea of getting a customer, and depends on your business, but you don't want to have that customer just once. You want that to be a customer for life. Okay. So with 17 Hats, you can go and create projects, different projects for people. So say we had a project originally, somebody comes in and you're a photographer and you want to take, they want you to take your wedding photos. Mm-hmm. You would create a project for that. And everything to do with that wedding, we would go through and we'd put all the emails in there, any contracts, any invoices, any quotes would always remain under your name as a contact, but within that particular project. So say a couple years later, you come back because you did such a great job taking pictures at the wedding. They would like you to take baby pictures.
Yeah.
So I think what I would do is I would open up another project under that same contact name.
Yep.
And then we can go through and all the correspondence, invoices, contracts, whatever for that photo project is going to be underneath there.
Got it.
So hard to get good customers these days. You don't want to lose them. You want to save them, and then you want that repeat business. That's how your business is going to grow.
Yes, you do. And as you guys can see on the screen right now, I'm inside of a project for my client, Dan, and you can see really easily all of my important documents, right? So if I've ever sent him any quotes or contracts, invoices or questionnaires, I can really easily reference these and pull them up at any point just to see, what his answers were, what that correspondence looked like. And then if I go back to his project, I can always search by clicking on the search bar at the top. Okay, so Dan, go back to his project. Down here, if I click on the emails tab, if I had sent him any emails, I would see the correspondences here. I can even upload files to his project, and I would keep them under here. To-dos, like we kind of just talked about, if you have any tasks that are one-off and you want to make those here. It just goes on and on. Events, phone logs, time log activities. So it's really that file folder, right? Again, that holds everything pertaining to this project for Dan. And it doesn't matter how long it's been, I can always come back and reference these, pull them up, send a new copy. And again, one of the great things about our system is there are so many pieces moving behind the scenes that you don't see here. For example, my workflows. This is my actual list of steps that I need to go through for every single client. I can assign that to Dan, and the system is going to help me move through each and every step, whether I want to do it manually and I just want to be reminded when it's time to do it, or I can tell the system automatically send that out on my behalf. And I'm going to tell you when I'll set a scheduled date based on my base date, and the 17 hats will just get that done when the time comes.
Yep. Just so nice, helps you organized. I see that Erica has just joined us. She is from a graphic design business, so welcome. And Ed, who is from Florida, has the question for us.
Okay.
Will there be a time that a headshot client can schedule their appointment and pay automatically online?
Ooh, great question, Ed. So we are working on quite a few features right now. The next one that's going to be coming out is Client Portal, which basically is going to house all of your important documents for your clients. And if you give them access to that, they can actually log in themselves and complete invoices, sign contracts, fill out questionnaires, whatever they have access to. So that is one way. And then the next feature that we're going to be working on in the future is our scheduling tool. So if you guys are familiar with like Acuity or Calendly, it's a similar concept where your availability is viewable online and the clients can go ahead and book themselves. We don't have a timeline as of yet, but if you are a part of our Facebook user group, if you happen to be subscribed to 17 Hats right now, you will have access to all the latest updates and everything. And we always keep you guys in the loop of product changes and upcoming releases.
Right. And I think right now, if you wanted to, you could, if you did want your clients to be able to pay automatically online, well, you could go through, let them fill out a lead capture form and hook that lead capture form up to a workflow that's going to send them an invoice. So that can all be automated pretty well at this point.
Yep. Actually, we spoke with a lady not too long ago, and she does that exact same thing. Is she has a form installed on the website. As soon as it's filled out, it triggers a workflow where the first step is to send an invoice, because she collects that same fee each and every time, right? It's a registration fee. So the clients fill in their information. Immediately, they get an email with the invoice. They hit pay, type in the credit card. 10 minutes later, that person's booked.
Yep.
And
it's all set.
And you didn't have to do anything. All you did was, set up your account and get things installed and sit back and let the money roll in. So that's pretty cool.
Very painless.
Very painless. Yep.
So let's talk a little bit. We know that we can save a lot of time with email, with emails and templates and document templates. In a lot of cases, you can set these up, and if you want to, you can make slight adjustments to them before they go out.
Right.
But it's up to you. But it's a good way to save time because you don't have to write that same email over and over and over again, and you don't have to write that same contract over and over again. You can just pick it up from the template.
Let me tell you, having that template function was huge for me. I mean, I was really doing that same thing. I was drafting all of my emails because, I want to put in their name and I want to put in that person's project date and all of that. But with 17 Hats, you can build the verbiage into a template to reuse and use tokens to auto-populate those specific pieces of client information to make it seem personal. Right. And the second that I implemented that, I was saving myself so much time. And, just like the name implies, it's a template. If ever you want to change it at any point, you can. And that functionality extends beyond emails. We can do that for our documents. So if there's a questionnaire that you send where you need to gather really important project information, build those questions out, and all you have to do is email it off to your clients. They get to type it in, hit submit. You get a notification that the questionnaire has been filled out. You get to review the answers, and it lives forever in their project. And once you start doing that with invoices, quotes, and contracts, what you're going to find that you're going to be booking business a lot faster, and it just becomes so much easier.
Well, I think you're booking a lot faster, but what also is nice is that, the templates that you can have in 17 Hats are unlimited. So as you find something, maybe there's a letter that you've drafted for somebody in particular, and you say, now I could use this for a lot of people. Right. You can just go and save that as a template and use it whenever you like. Right. There are no limits on templates for emails, contracts, quotes, invoices, workflows. So you can just go to town with it.
Yeah, why do the same work twice? Build that out, do it once, save it as a template, and just recycle and reuse. Now, workflows, I do want to talk about really quickly too. It's a really great automation feature that we have So if ever you find yourself going through the same set of steps again and again for a client, whether it be, in the beginning when they're just reaching out to you, or when you go through the booking process and you have specific things that you got to do or hit, or maybe it's just a client touch experience where you want to follow up and you want to send them a birthday a birthday card or thank you email, whatever those steps are, you can actually build them out in what we call workflows and assign them to different people, either automatically or manually. And the system can take you through that process and either remind you, hey, Jack, today you're supposed to send that email, don't forget.
Yep.
Or, if you want it to happen automatically for you, 17 Hats can just send that off. So again, you could be sleeping. You could be still in bed and work is going to be getting done for you on your behalf.
I agree. Now, what about lead management? I know we have a number of different things. Maybe we should just talk about that a little bit. We have lead capture forms. Lead capture forms are a very powerful way. You can create a form. You can put that any place. You can put something on the web. So you can put it on your Facebook page, your website. You could go and take that lead capture form and put it on your at your local golf club, who is always looking for people to come in. Maybe you put it out there, and anybody who wants a photographer, or if they want somebody to do flowers or this or that, you could have that installed on their website. So a customer presses the button, and you get the lead right away. When that happens, you can set it up to automatically respond to them, send an email out. You can notify yourself that you have a new lead by going through and having a text message sent to yourself or an email or both, depending on what you want to do. And the nice part, as I mentioned before, is when a lead capture form is filled out by somebody and submitted, you can also go through and have that start a workflow as soon as it's submitted.
So it can trigger a process for us to not just take in new information, but actually put someone through a set of steps that needs to happen.
And what's nice, and the lead capture form creates a lead record and a project to start off with. So you're in the system and you can start working that client right away.
Yeah. And another thing I love about lead capture forms is, I don't have time to answer my leads. I don't have time to always even look at my phone sometimes, right? And so what you can do with your form is anytime it's filled out, you can send out an automatic email response.
Yep.
That, again, you create in the form of a template. You can use tokens to pop in their name and project date and project location and all that good stuff. And that way it feels personal. And in this day and age, it is very important that you get back to your leads as quickly as you can, because you'll really increase the likelihood of that person getting in contact with you or booking with you.
Yep.
So, don't wait. And if you don't have the time to manually do it yourself, send out an automatic response, even if it's just to let the client know that I've received your inquiry. I'm going to be giving you a phone call. Here are what the next steps are, or here's a quote for you to preview. There's all these different ways that you can get creative with it just to engage with that client and let them know I'm here. You can even, after someone submits a lead capture form, direct them to a different URL. Sometimes I see people linking their clients to like a gallery of theirs where that person can look at your work, or sometimes to your blog. Keep them engaged in what you do and what your business is while you have their attention.
Yep, and it's so nice if you can follow up fast. Recently we got to get some work done on the house before the winter sets in. We're looking for somebody to do a roof a small portion. So you go through and you send emails and you leave messages on the telephone for like 3 or 4 different guys, and you sit there and wait, and it's 5, 6, 7 days later, you haven't heard back from anybody. So you go and get some more people and start sending out that sort of thing. It's just a really nice way for you to be able to follow up with potential customers really fast. Yes. Let them know you're interested in their business. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just a good way to treat people.
I think so. And people expect it nowadays. Yeah. They definitely don't want to hear crickets.
Yeah, that's true.
It's good to get in their inbox. And now, one last piece I do want to touch upon is bookkeeping. It's a headache for me. I don't like playing accountant. I've never really understood it. So with 17 Hats, our bookkeeping feature, you can actually sync your bank accounts, and those transactions will now come in for you to categorize. And by doing that, what it allows you to do is generate sales tax reports, profit and loss reports. You can look at your aged and upcoming receivables. It just makes everything really clean and really easy. If you choose to invoice through 17 Hats, those payments that are coming in will automatically be logged in your bookkeeping module. So again, you don't have to do that work again. The system's talking to itself and doing all of that without you lifting a finger.
Right. And you can also, based on that, while you do have all your bookkeeping information, you can go and have that information show in each project as to how much you've spent expense-wise and how much you've received as far as income. Always a good thing. Everything's under one roof, which is very nice. And all the various pieces of 17 Hats talk to each other.
Yeah. I mean, from beginning to end, from when someone fills out that form online, they get in contact with you. It can trigger a workflow automatically, and that when that person is going through the booking process, they fill out the forms, they make their payment, the payment goes into your bookkeeping tool, and it goes round and round.
Yep.
So all you have to do is spend a little bit of time setting it up, and the business is kind of going to run itself, especially if you choose to automate parts of your workflow. Again, you don't have to be at your computer. You don't have to be there on your phone. Things are just going to happen for you at the time that you want it to happen. So
right. Very nice.
Do we have some people joining in with us? We do. We've got Betty, Evelyn, and Athena. Welcome, guys. Thank you for being here.
And also we have Megan and Glenn. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
If you see that little like button, please press that. And maybe a heart or two. That would be a good thing to have.
Yeah.
We would appreciate it.
Let us know if you have any questions.
All right. So, Miji, I'm thinking about this. And one of the things you just said is that you have to spend some time setting things up. And I've heard from a lot of people, well, I just don't have the time to do that.
I get it. We're all very, very busy today. And I'm not going to lie to you guys and say that you can log in and immediately start using things. 17 Hats does take a little bit of setup, right? We want to know your business name, for example, your logo. You do have to put in some contacts, but that initial time investment is going to really pay off in the end. If you think about all the hours you're spending right now, setting up appointments with your clients to get contracts signed, waiting on invoice payments, having to draft emails over and over again. You're doing the same thing over and over again from scratch each time. If you actually calculated how much time you're spending doing those things and whatever you think your time is worth, I mean, it's sometimes thousands of dollars or even more. And if you compare that to the price of a system that's going to give you back that time and ultimately pay for itself, I think it's really worth it, especially if it's making you look more professional in the end and your clients are happy.
Well, I think too, you basically, if you're going to start with anything, you are going to have to spend some time getting it set up so that you can use it the way you want to use it. Mm-hmm. And that's just something you're going to have to do. I think I could sit down with somebody brand new and I could get that first invoice out within 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. So it's a really simple process.
Right.
Different things you have to do to set up, but invoices, we can get those going right away.
Now, one thing that's very important to remember is, although 17 Hats is a system, that doesn't mean you have to sit down for hours and set up every single thing. You can use one feature at a time and just build on that as you go. Some people come in and they just want to send out an invoice. And then a couple of days later, maybe they want to start working on contracts, and then they build their way up to lead capture forms and workflows. And there's nothing wrong with that. Deal with the business pain point that is really taking up your time right now. Hone in on that one feature and then slowly build out the rest. There's no rush to have to set up the whole system, and you can certainly use it on the go. There's no foul in that. Yeah.
Well, so much of that too is that you can go through and you're able to use maybe just invoices for now and then work on other things as you have more time. Yep. But again, as you said, address your most serious pain point and work from that point up. Yep. I know, again, I'll mention my wife uses 17 Hats, and she started out and she used, for the longest time, she did nothing but invoices in there. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then she discovered the lead capture forms, and it's been quite an amazing process ever since.
Oh, I bet. Good for her. And now, Jack, what about those of our users who may be listening and they think, I'm not really tech savvy. I don't like computers. I don't mess with apps. It is a real challenge, and to that, I would say you're not alone. First of all, don't feel bad, because I get dropped into apps all the time and I'm like, whoa, this is brand new. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, and that's completely normal. But remember, you're not alone. We're here to help. We have an entire team, a business support team here, who can answer your questions and help you get set up. And they're based here in the US, it's all in-house. So you're not talking to some strangers, but, we're here to help you out. We also offer articles, video tutorials. Jack and I, we do these live Q&As so we can get some FaceTime with you guys. You can always come in with whatever questions or needs you have. We've got a Facebook user group where, if you want to join a community of other 17 Hats users and actually talk to them about how they're using the system, or even get advice on business management in general, we have a really tight-knit group, and I see really awesome advice and, just ideas being shared around in there every single day. So you're not alone. I think that's the one thing to remember, even if it seems hard.
Yeah, and I think that you'll find too, as you look at that you end users, your customers are getting more and more tech savvy. As the younger guys come up and start doing things, to get them as customers, you're going to have to reach them on that particular level. Yeah. So 17 Hats is the perfect platform for doing that because it makes things fast and they can just get in, get out, and get done. Yeah.
And Jack, Megan just said, I want to start using bookkeeping features more, especially keeping track of income and expenses. That's a great point, Megan. And she says she loves 17 Hats. Yes.
Oh, we love to hear that, don't we?
And Megan, I support you in that statement. I think, bookkeeping to me is not always a fun part of managing your business, but it is important to stay on top of your financial health. So if you have your accounts synced and you start categorize some of those transactions, 17 Hats will start to remember some of those rules. And then basically what you have to do is just verify the next time you go in, so you don't have to always do that work over and over again. So I think you'll start to notice that as you start playing around with it more. And it is very eye-opening when you start assigning expenses to projects, so you can see if you actually made money on that particular job. I think sometimes
right, and to see what you spent that money on while you were doing that job. Mm-hmm. It's always eye-opening. I think accounting in general is best enjoyed by accountants. But everybody else has got to be able to go in and do something like that. You got to be able to keep track of where your money and know if you're making money or losing money. Right. And if that's the case, you got to know where you're making money or losing money.
Exactly. And if you have an accountant, he's going to be very happy with you. If you start doing your books in 17 Hats, you can just print out that report and hand it over to him. So,
it was kind of interesting. When we were talking a couple of weeks ago, we talked to Baraka, who a sew design company. And it was just so interesting that she'd found that the more and more she got into using 17 Hats, it actually helped her figure out that she was not charging enough money.
That's incredible. And she did that by building her workflows, right? She actually went through step by step and looked at her process and then stood back and was like, well, wait a minute, I'm putting a lot into this. I should be charging way more. And she didn't have any hesitation doing so, raised her prices, and the clients still came.
Yep, I agree.
I think that's the beauty of workflows, is you're able to actually put your process down somewhere and repeat it, improve it, tweak it, change it. It's incredibly hard to do that if it's all just in your head.
Yep. Now, another thing, we've heard from certain people, they've been, we've both talked to a lot of different people who are prospective users of 17 Hats. And, one of the things that comes up that I've heard very often is, my business isn't big enough right now. My business is slow right now.
Right. I don't need to do this right now. Right. There's no demand for it. And you guys, what you don't want to do is wait for an issue to become an issue. And what I mean by that is you don't want to wait for that day to come where you're drowning in paperwork, where all of a sudden business is picking up and clients are coming in the door and you don't have a process in place. You can't automate any part of it. You're still redrafting your emails. You're still setting up appointments to get contracts signed. You're really going to get frustrated and you're really going to start losing out on time, which is, we all know, is the one thing you can't buy. And you can't magically snap your fingers and create more of it. So you're setting yourself up for success as early on as you can by having a system like 17 Hats in place allows you to get ready for when things get busy. And, even if you're not extremely busy right now, you can still kickstart your business. Like we talked about with Baraka, you can improve what you're doing, build that presence for yourself, still look professional, get more organized. We could all use a little bit more free time. And if you're just doing the same thing over and over again, why do that? When you can have a system automate that for you.
Right, and I think you have other things to look at, because you can use like the lead capture form to help you build your business. Okay,
Yeah.
so not only is it going to be easier to take care of the daily maintenance of your business and the things you have to do, but based on where you're, for instance, if you put lead capture forms in different places, you are going to be using that to generate new business for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Very helpful, and it gets your business going a little bit, just get it going faster.
Yeah. And a big thank you to Ben and Ken, who just gave us a thumbs up. I saw that. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Ben and Ken.
Ben, Ken, and Glenn all in a group.
Ben, Ken, and Glenn, all in the group. That's nice.
Did you guys plan that? Glad to have you guys here.
Yep.
Oh,
and don't forget for the likes and the little hearts either.
Yeah, give us some of those.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Now, okay, so we got to talk about pricing a little bit because, when you're making decisions on whether or not you want to sign up for something, obviously cost is something to take into consideration. Jack, what would you say to those people who, feel like 17 Hats is maybe just a little too expensive right now?
Well, we have a number of different plans to start with, but once again, you are not doing this for now necessarily. You're doing this for the future. You're trying to get yourself set up as best you can so that you can handle all that business that you're going to be generating in the very near future. So, what's it worth? I mean, let's see, depending on the plan you got, you could be spending 80 cents a day on 17 Hats, and that's probably a little bit less than it would cost to go to Kinko's and print out a contract as opposed to sending it electronically. I think you probably pay more for coffee than you would do for that, or at least I know I do.
True.
And you got to think of 17 Hats, really, it's a tool. And so it's a tool like having a camera or having a new car, or in Baraka's case, buying sewing machines, because that's her business.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just basically going through and deciding how you want to portray yourself. And basically you want to be able to look like the professional that you are. And 17 Hats is going to help you do that.
Yeah. And, we do have a 30-day money back guarantee. And so if you want to try it, there's no risk, give it a go. If you don't feel like it's a good fit for your business and it didn't work out, that's totally fine. Contact our team and we'd be happy to give you your money back. There's no harm in giving it a spin. So really there's no reason not to give this a try. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised when you do.
In a lot of cases, I think if you go from the thing, it may be too expensive not to go and do this.
Right.
Because you're hurting your business.
Yeah. And the alternative of spending more time doing the same things over and over again when you could really expedite a lot of those tasks and chores, things that, you don't want to do right now. That's priceless, being able to have that taken off your hands. And again, a lot of you guys don't want to have to hire another person to do that. You're not at that point in your business. You don't want to spend those costs. So have the system do it for you.
Yep.
And my CEO is laughing at me right now because he just walked by. Donovan's here. He says hello. Yeah.
Yep. So that's pretty much it. Now we have a couple other things like we've heard from people they don't know which CRM to choose.
Oh, right. There's a lot of things out there right now.
Yep. A lot of things. And so a couple of things that we think we are stronger on than most people. We know small business. Many of our people have come from small businesses to kind of collaborate on 17 Hats, so it's worthwhile.
A lot of our employees actually use 17 Hats to run their own businesses. Jack, Peg does it to do her feng shui. And, we've got John on our team who uses it to run her photo booth business. And we've got team members here who are, mothers. They're working and they're also, full-time mom and their wives, and they have other things going on. So we all understand the mentality of wearing multiple hats and what it feels like to have to juggle a lot of different things every single day.
Right. And so basically with 17 Hats, we do more than a good number of the other CRMs that are out there. Mm-hmm. And we're a lot simpler to use.
I think so. I've seen some of the other CRMs where you have to set up and there's just this very long process. And for me, at this stage in my business where I'm just a person of one and I just have a few functionalities that I need to go through, I don't need a lot of bells and whistles. And if you're that type of person, go for a system like that. That's a lot more complicated and, meant for someone who's maybe further along in their business and a lot bigger.
Yep.
So I love the simplicity of 17 Hats. I love what it has to offer because it fits my needs right now.
Yep. I agree. So now we had mentioned earlier, Miji, that we had a special for anybody that wants to sign up to 17 Hats now.
Yes, we do.
do we have that link that we can show everybody? And basically what that's going to do is if you go and sign up to our unlimited annual plan, it will automatically, using this link, will provide a 15% discount over our normal pricing. And there's the link.
Yep.
What you may want to do is take a picture of that with your phone, just so you can put it in later and go in and sign up.
Yep, and Travis will leave a link in the comments down below for you guys if you want to also just click on it really quickly. But yeah, you guys start simplifying your business today. Save 15% while you're doing it. And Jack, as you mentioned, it's less than a cup of coffee a day, you know? And what is that worth for having more time and being able to look more professional, get more organized, and have happier clients coming through the funnel?
Right. You're running your business because you have a passion for that business. And that doesn't mean you have to spend 24 hours a day doing it.
Right.
By getting the right tool like 17 Hats, you can save yourself a lot of time, get a lot of the boilerplate stuff out of the way, and have more time to spend on other things in your life.
Yeah. And whatever that other thing is, some people want to put more time into their business. Some people want to take a break. We leave that up to you, but we give you the capability to do it.
Yep. Now, basically, if you need to talk to somebody or if you'd like to chat with somebody, you could either email us at support@17hats.com. Also, if you do already have the app or if you're just in a test mode with it, you can go through and there is a little icon down the bottom right on the 17 Hats site, as well as on our marketing site. You can click on that and talk to some folks in our support team.
Yep. And they're fabulous.
Yep. And what else? We are doing these now. You should join us every Thursday at the same time because we are going through and doing these different subjects each week. And again, you can ask us questions. We'll give you the answers. So I think they should join us. What do you think, Miji?
Oh, of course. If you guys have the time, come here live and talk to us. But, the session is always going to be recorded and posted on our main page too. So if you miss it and you don't have the time to come, just come back later and hit play. You'll see previous sessions from, the other weeks where we've done this posted on the page so you can browse through and hear more about 17 Hats. And we talk about whatever you guys want us to talk about, whether it's functionalities or if you want advice. We could do fun things too, but you guys let us know what your needs are and we're here for you. Yeah.
Nice. So let's see, I'm checking. I don't see any other questions. Might be time to wrap it up, Miji.
Sure thing.
So thank everybody so much for joining us today. Again, come back next week. Think of some questions that you can feed up to us and we'll answer those for you. But again, it's been great talking to you.
Yep. Thank you guys for your time. Sign up today if you haven't already. And if you have questions, just come next week. We'll chat with you. We'll get to know each other. Love doing that. Megan just says, workflows are a lifesaver.
Nice.
They are.
Yeah, they are. They are.
I'm so glad you're using them, Megan. Let us know where you're from.
And what do you do, Megan?
And what do you do? I'm so curious now. And Heather says, thank you for a great product. Still learning and finding new ways to help my business. Awesome. Nice. Heather, join our Facebook user group if you haven't already. Facebook.com/users/17hats users. And I'll accept your request to join. And in there, you can always see past posts from other people. You can collaborate with other users on ideas and get the latest advice and updates from a product team. It's a great place to be.
Yep. And I think what I've also seen is it's also a great place if you're, we have a lot of photographers, but we also have a lot of 17 Hats users that are in other businesses. So that's a great place to get together, maybe make a shout out to other people in the same business you're at. And you guys can collaborate and figure out what's going on for you and what's best for your business. Yeah,
there's a community of you guys in that user group. And Megan's a photographer from Minnesota. Awesome.
Nice.
You're going to love 17 Hats, which I think you already do.
Lorenzo, thank you. He said thank you.
Lorenzo. Yeah, thanks for being here for another week. Hope you're not driving this time.
Yep. Much safer that way.
Much safer, yeah. All righty, Jack. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Jack, thanks for your time. And
you too, Miji.
We'll catch you next week, same time.
Okie dokie. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.